The Packers have fallen behind in the NFC North, 2 games back, while the Seattle Seahawks are surging in the NFC West. Jay, the Packers are a solid team from your favorite division, but they can't get over the hump against the very, very best teams in the league. Will they have more luck against these Seattle Seahawks this weekend?
Yeah, they will. I think the key for the Packers and the Seahawks, for that matter, you got to stay balanced. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is a great player, and you can fall in love with Jordan Love's arm talent and some of those beautiful tight window throws that he drops in the bucket. Oh, my God, let's call another pass. Don't do it, Matt LaFleur. Make sure you stay consistent to get Josh Jacobs' touches. And then we can get the ball to the wideouts and Tucker Kraft and all the good players for Green Bay. And the same thing goes for Seattle. You can fall in love with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Chigba. But at the end of the day, Charbonnet is the one that crushed Arizona last week. And if Kenneth Walker plays or doesn't play, they still have great options at running back there. So both running games are going to be critical to these teams winning a football game, and both teams' ability to stop the run will be crucial for them to win the game.
Well, one of the big keys to the Seattle Seahawks defense and the resurgence of them, they were good early. They had a little bit of a lull there in the middle of the season. Over the last 14 games, or the last 4 games, AQ, they've only allowed 15.5 points. What's been the difference for the Seattle Seahawks defense?
Well, it's Leonard Williams. It starts with Leonard Williams. He's been fantastic. I think he had 3 sacks maybe a week or 2 ago. They got Ernest Jones in a trade earlier in the year. He makes a big pick last week. It's everybody contributing, right? They've always had great DBs, but they're getting better play from their front 7. The 2 edge guys are starting to make more plays. They're getting more push from the pocket. A guy we played against when we were in Arizona, Jaron Reed, has done a nice job at the nose guard position. So I think it all comes down to what they've been doing in the front 7.
That Seahawks front 7 has definitely been dangerous. The big cat, I still think about that play where he had the interception against the Jets, took it back to the house. That was one of the more impressive things that I have seen. Colt, with that being said, the Seahawks only have 1 win against teams with a winning record. 3 of their last 4 games will be against teams over 500. Can they get to the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they can. I think the Seahawks are playing great on defense. AQ just mentioned it, but on offense, Geno Smith he's comfortable. You see him getting a little bit better each week. I know they haven't played great teams over the last 3 or 4 weeks, playoff teams, but at the end of the day, he's got good weapons around him. And you lose a guy like Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet comes in and rushes for over 100 yards. Like they're pretty balanced up there. And Geno's just playing with more and more confidence. Scored 30 points on the road in the division. Can they make the playoffs? Of course. They might win the division. We all picked the Cardinals and the Rams and the Niners. I don't know if anybody really picked the Seahawks a few weeks ago, but they're playing good football. I think this is going to be a tough matchup for them, though. Packers coming into town. I think it's all going to be, can Geno figure out a way to not turn the football over? And can he get the ball to his weapons? Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf. Like, can those guys get going and help on the explosive play standpoint where they don't have to just run the ball every play? And I think they can. The other thing is, it doesn't matter who you're beating in the NFL. You've won 4 in a row. Like, there's a lot of confidence in that locker room right now.
Yeah, you mentioned those weapons, though. I just got a quick side note for you. If you were starting a team tomorrow, are you taking DK Metcalf? Are you taking Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Oh, man, I'd probably take Jackson Smith and Jigba. I just think his versatility to play all over the field, he's just gotten better and better. He's younger. I mean, he's fresh. DK Metcalf is an unbelievable receiver, freak athlete. Throw up 50-50 balls to him all day long. But I think, the things that you can do on offense by moving Jackson Smith and Jigba around and the matchups that he gets, I think you've seen over the last several weeks the impact that he can have on a game.
So you would say DK Metcalf is a little bit like the Jalen Hurts, like he's got their positions. Just a smidge vanilla. They look the part, but just a smidge basic.
I wouldn't say that at all. I think DK Metcalf is a stud. He's a matchup problem for sure. And he's a guy that not only can go up and throw a jump ball to him, a 50-50 ball, he can catch a screen at any point on the field and take it to the house with his speed and athleticism. So, no, he's a monster.
I just like to get you going on Jalen Hurts. The Packers, NFC North, best division in football. They've lost twice to the Lions. They lost to the Vikings. They lost to the Eagles. 3 of those 4 games were decided by 4 or less points. How do the Packers get over the hump? These are the teams they need to beat when they get into the playoffs. How do they do it, Jay Gruden?
Yeah, and they'll have to do it on the road most likely, so it's going to be tough for them. But I think that they have the talent to do it. Obviously, they have a very young receiving core, young quarterback still. Jordan Love is no veteran by any stretch of the imagination. Their defense is playing better. Just eliminate the turnovers and Jordan Love, be Jordan Love. But the most important thing, like I mentioned before about this game, is utilization of Josh Jacobs and taking the pressure off Jordan Love. When Jordan Love can do the play action passes, he can see the field, the 3-level throws, the tight end leaking down the sideline. He's outstanding at that. But it's up to Josh Jacobs. That's how they will get over the hump, by utilizing Josh Jacobs, controlling the clock, controlling the game, and then playing good defense, obviously.
Well, Josh Jacobs is getting the Packers over the hump. We need our fans to get us over the hump. We're trying to get over 10,000 subscribers. Stop what you're doing. Hit subscribe. No, right now, hit subscribe. Get us over 10,000 subscribers. We want this to become a hostile environment. Just like Seattle, they have the home field advantage. We want this channel to be our own home field advantage. We need you to help us do it. Seattle has one of the best home field advantages in football IQ. You've gone up there when you're the better team and you've lost games. You've gone up there when you're the worst team and you've won games. What's it like going up into Seattle, playing in a hostile environment? What can the Packers expect this weekend?
That's my favorite environment in football, period. Number one overall. And when I came to Arizona, I had heard about it. I went up there. I'm 5-0 in Seattle. I just want to point that out, everyone. Just want to point that out.
I like that.
No big deal. But my favorite thing about it, you guys all know what I'm talking about. There's a guy sits in the corner of the tunnel and he brings 70 different little poster boards and he always does funny things. I remember we went up there and it was the year that BA ended up retiring from the Cardinals. And there was all these rumors that he was going to step down, get fired, retire, something after the game. And we come out, we're getting ready to run out. And it says, "Keep BA, fire the team." And he's holding it as we're like walking out the thing, right? The sayings this guy comes up with, and he writes them all game long, and you see it over and over again. Couple that with the fact that it's 150 decibels as you're sitting there on the field, and they're cranking the noise, and they're playing Joker and the Thief, and all the crazy stuff whenever you go out there, and you're constantly getting booed. I mean, it's the best fans and the best atmosphere in all the NFL, hands down.
Yeah, I think that place is fun to play. I mean, I other than the turf is the hardest turf in the NFL. I mean, you leave that game.
My ACL is sitting on the turf as we speak.
your body feels terrible after playing on that turf. And it's usually cold and there's usually an element, whether that's like a light little mist, rain, if there's a little bit of snow, like there's always something there. And, I'm with AQ though. It's loud. It's fun. I love playing in those sort of environments, but the guy on the corner is pretty hilarious. I mean, he's trying to pick a fight with anybody who will acknowledge him when you walk out of the tunnel. But he's there every week. He was there every game I ever played there.
Me too.
Yeah, that guy gets after it. I would be remiss if I didn't shout out the Dog Pound. I think the Dog Pound is one of the craziest environments. As a fan, sitting with those guys a couple of weeks ago, that place was crazy. I haven't been to Seattle as a fan yet, so I got to check that one out. All right, let's go back to Jordan Love for a second. He started out this season red hot. He was throwing some costly interceptions. I got on him a little bit. And just his last 6 games, or his last 3 games, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. Does he need to start taking more chances again? Do the Packers offense need him to start taking more of those risks if they want to get to where they're going to?
Jay's made up your mind. He's got to dial it in. He can't take any more chances. Oh, now he's got to take more chances.
I'm asking, Jay.
Yeah. I got you.
Jay nailed it. Listen, this offense runs through Josh Jacobs. When Josh Jacobs is playing good football, there's no reason for him to just make bad decisions and throw it in a double coverage. He doesn't have to do that. When they stay ahead of the chains with Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love has the entire playbook open to him. He's good on the move. He's one of the best in the NFL at throwing the ball outside of the pocket. Play a little bit more of that if you want the explosive plays. Get him out there on the move. He's been efficient in the pocket over the last 3 weeks. I mean, they scored 31 points against the Lions. I love Jordan's game. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he sees it well. I think he puts balls in areas where guys can go up and get them and make plays on them. And even when they're contested, his accuracy shows up. And he can throw the ball in cold weather. Like that's a big plus for him. You going to Seattle on the road, like it feels like you're playing in Green Bay, except you're not playing on the grass. I think he's got good weapons. Their ability to lean on Josh Jacobs is only going to help Jordan Love be more and more efficient as he plays more games.
I like that, Jay. So let me get you speaking out of both sides of your mouth for a second. So Josh Jacobs, the team runs through Josh Jacobs, but don't stop Jordan Love. You want him to keep slinging that thing around. Which is which for them to get over the hump?
I think they're going to call plays and give him the ability to sling things around. That's what Matt LaFleur does, through that Kyle Shanahan system. The play action passes are what makes them. When you have a good, strong running game, that's when LaFleur gets really creative and very effective with the plays outside the pocket and and all the cool plays. The thing about Jordan, he just got to make sure he understands if a play's not there, it's okay to throw it away. I think his arm is so good. He's so accurate. He feel like he can wait. I'll wait to the third, fourth, maybe wait to the fifth window, sack, fumble, or he'll throw an interception. Those are the plays that he's got to avoid. But if everything's on rhythm, there's not many quarterbacks as good as Jordan Love sticking his foot in the ground and ripping it between the numbers or down the sidelines or whatever it is. So dial in the turnovers, Jordan. You'll be fine, and they'll be able to compete with anybody on their schedule the rest of the way.
Have you ever seen any quarterbacks throw as many out routes down in the red zone for touchdowns? I mean, every time I watch their games, he's throwing out routes to the front pylon for a touchdown. It's like almost every time I watch.
It is scary. If he misses it inside just a little bit, the defender's hitting his head on the goalpost like Leonard Williams did. Remember that, Justin? You love that play. You mentioned it 14 times on this show. But
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
What do you have for me, Gruden? What do you have for me? Give me a prediction on this game. Oh, first off, first prediction. Will Leonard Williams have a sack in this game, Gruden?
Probably, yes. He's an awesome player.
Give me a score prediction.
I'm taking the Green Bay Packers 24-10. I love McDonald's defense. I really do. I think he's an excellent defensive coach. He's going to confuse Jordan a little bit. That's why I think LaFleur's got to be patient with the running game. Don't let McDonald confuse you into some turnovers. But I still think the Packers are better.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers here. Listen, they got, as Jay said, they got to keep up in the NFC North. This is a tough one, though. Seattle's playing with a lot of momentum, leading their division. They're playing at home. The fans are going to be going crazy. But I just think the Packers are built for this. This environment's not going to bother them too much. There's probably going to be elements like we talked about, and they play good defense. And if Josh Jacobs gets going early, I think that the Packers are going to pull this one off.
3 for 3. I got the Packers. There's no question about it. I love what they do. I love LaFleur. I think he's a great play caller. I think they've done a great job with Love. Jacobs has changed that team because with Aaron Jones, it was a lot of perimeter stuff. Right now, they can go between the tackles, and he can also get to the perimeter. They can do some different things. And if they want to get the end around, they just go to Jaden Reed. So they got so much talent. Tucker Kraft opens everything up at the tight end position. I like their offensive line. I just think they're better offensively than Seattle. I agree. I love Seattle's defense. I just think Green Bay's offense is better.
The clean pocket, clean sweep. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. If you stop Jaden Reed, you got Christian Watson. If you stop Christian Watson, you got Tucker Kraft. You got Romeo Dobbs. You got Dontavian Wicks. You got Josh Jacobs. They're spelling Josh Jacobs with Emmanuel Wilson. Even Chris Brooks is getting some carries. So the Green Bay Packers beat you with a lot of guys, a lot of names that you may not even recognize. Very good team. NFC North team. And they're going to go up there and beat the Seattle Seahawks, which means whoever wins the Rams 49ers game would then, if the Rams win, they'll be in the lead in the NFC West.